Welcome to Creative Genius, the 21-day series where we are going to unlock your creative freedom, your creative joy, and your creative magic. Welcome to day 10 of Creative Genius, and today we are talking about emotion. This is a juicy one, you guys. This is a juicy topic. Like, this is a big deal for artists. It's a big deal for humans. It's a big deal for creatives, right? The reason this is such a big deal is that for most creatives, we have this subconscious underlying idea that the art we create from pain is more valuable, or is better art, or is a better song, or is a better story, or a better poem, or whatever, than the art we create from joy. Most of us are carrying this around. Artists struggle. What does it mean to be a starving artist? What does it mean to be an artist and struggle? What does it mean to be a human and struggle? Right? What does it mean to be a human and not get what I want, not be capable of what I want, not have what I want? Like, so many people are running around with this programming of I'm not capable, I'm not powerful, struggle is normal for me. Instead of asking the question, who am I when I'm not struggling? Who am I when things are going well for me? Who am I at my most powerful? Who am I when I get what I want? Who am I when I create what I want? Now, most of us are like pinballs, right? Have you ever played the pinball machine and you pull it back and the ball goes and it just hits things along the way, and you're like trying to flap it up where you want it to go, but for the most part, it's just bouncing and bouncing and bouncing off this. Most people, this is how we're walking around. We bounce off something and it makes us mad. We bounce off traffic and it pisses us off. We bounce off our kids fighting. We bounce off our spouse. We bounce off the person in front of us at the grocery store that's having a bad day, and we take all of it in, and we're just ping-ponging off of these emotions all day long. We're not responsible for our inner state. We're not creating an inner world that has anything to offer anybody else. We're just bouncing off of everybody else. We're bouncing off of like ping-pongs. This is what somebody said is true about the world today. This is what somebody says is true about the future. This is what somebody says is true about this. Like, we're very often not even forming our own beliefs or our own thoughts. Much information. There's so much information, and I get it because I'm bombarded with it too. I'm a human too. I'm online too. But we have to have that personal power. We have to have that leadership. We talked about this already in the leadership video. We have to have the boundaries. We have to have the discernment. We have to have the vision and the dedication and the devotion to our vision, that we're not moving like this. We're not being ping-ponged all around. We are not a pinball. We're not a ping pong ball. We're a creator. We're focused, right? We aren't here to create something. We're here to have an experience. That begins with your internal state, your beliefs, the thoughts you're thinking, the habits you're thinking, the actions you're taking, the way you're treating yourself, the way you're talking to yourself, the way you're speaking to others, the way you're creating in the world, the way you create when you go to a restaurant and you speak to somebody, the way you create when you go into the grocery store and you're in line, the way you create when you're in your car and you're in traffic. Like, you're creating all the time. Now let's bring it back to art and creativity, right? Because that's why we're here. How do you unlock your particular creative genius more? How do you unlock your particular creative voice more, your particular creative vision more? It's by feeling all your feelings. It really is. It's by not making any of them wrong. It's with the understanding that usually emotions are not even related to something that's happening. Usually we are worried about things that haven't even happened yet. Usually we are focused or sad about things that aren't even that big. Usually we are letting these kind of transient states of being rule who we are. And so it feels very, and I don't know if you've ever had this experience where you're with somebody whose emotions feel very unsafe, and you're like worried about having to take care of them, or you're worried about having to manage them, or what they're going to do, because they don't have control over their own feelings. They're not safe with themselves. But if you can be a person that is safe with themselves when they're sad, and if you can be a person that is safe with themselves when they are mad, and if you can be a person that is safe with themselves when they are in joy, and you can feel that part of you that worries, like, what if I lose this? What if it goes away? Because we do have those feelings that come when we are happy. We do have those upper limits, but you can be safe with yourself when those happen and just know that it's okay. Then you can create with every feeling. You can create with every emotion, instead of feeling like some of them produce better art because they're more powerful, they're stronger. I have to be in pain. I have to be in struggle. My best art comes out of this. That's a belief system, right? It's not truth. Your best art comes from your wholeness. Your best art comes from your power. Your best art comes from your deepest, truest, most heart-led voice. Does that mean Does that mean that we shouldn't create from our pain or from, past experiences or from things that are hard? No, create what you want when you want. Create it all. It's an outlet. It's a self-expression. But this series is for the artists that really want to access a deeper level. And so if that's not for you, then I don't take any offense to that, and that just means this video isn't for you. But I have been a person that has created all of the things from all of the pain and used to identify with the pain as though it was me. And I don't anymore. And so my art has completely changed, and my view has completely changed, and my vision has completely changed. And it takes a responsibility to know that what you feel in the moment, what you want to create in the moment, isn't necessarily the whole picture. It isn't necessarily the whole view. It's just a moment. And when you have a bigger vision, you can see where these smaller pieces are self-expression, are places you need to outlet, but they don't necessarily need to be a part of the story. They don't need to be a part of the story. And that's like when you have a bad day, or you have an off day, or you have a sad day, or you have a sick day, or whatever. It's not a part of the story of what you're capable of. It's just one day, right? It's just one day. It's just 2 days. It's just a week. You had a bad month. You had a bad, however long. It's not the definition of us, right? We have to be willing to create a new definition of the value that we're giving. We have to be able to create a new definition for when our emotions are involved. We have to be willing to understand that this is an emotion that's leading me towards something. This is something happened, and so I'm feeling something. This is something that is connected to my vision, to my dreams, and so I'm feeling something. This is an emotion that is greater, that I want to follow, versus something transient that happens. You have a bad day, you have a bad mood, you have a rude interaction with somebody, and we don't let that spiral, we don't let that take over. We can just let that go. Your emotions just get to be safe, and you get to move on. Now, this is an extraordinary conversation. Extraordinary. Because one, most people are doing this. We are not taught to do this as children. Most people are walking around with programming and subconscious beliefs that they inherited before they were 7 years old. And that includes about how we deal with feelings. I don't know about you, but I've had to completely rewire as a mom the way that I deal with anger. And I'm still not perfect, but like becoming a mom was like a light bulb for this particular emotion for me. We all have those places that we have to work on, that we have to look at and say, I'm just not going to handle that the same way anymore. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to change it. I'm going to choose each individual time to do it differently until I become different. That's how this works. And as women, a lot of our emotions are looked down on. I've been told recently by even a medical professional that I'm sensitive, and that's the reason I'm having something. Like, we are constantly gaslighted or gaslit or whatever into our emotions. You have to know your emotions get to be real. You get to feel all of your feelings. Now, that's sad. The more you practice emotions, the more you practice any emotion, the more it becomes automatic. And I tell this to my kids all the time. If you're annoyed, it's easier for your brain to be annoyed. You're annoyed with your brother, you're annoyed with your sister, the more your brain's going to look for that. The more you practice gratitude, awe, happiness, power, peace, the more your brain, your body gets switched to that, and that's what they automatically look for. The more you practice annoyance, anger, pain, rage, all that stuff, whether you feel it's justified or not, the more you're going to feel it. Because you're driving down these roads every day. You're programming this GPS for your mind and your body of where you're going to go. And the more you drive that road, the deeper the ruts get and the harder it gets to get out. That's just how we work. There's nothing wrong with feeling your feelings, but you also have to be a really powerful creator and look at how you feel and decide what you're going to choose and who you're going to be and what you're going to do in this life and what you're going to create. So today's assignment is for you to look at, how do I feel most days? You can start journaling. You can start tracking it. You can start looking, how do I feel in this relationship? How do I feel in this particular situation? How do I feel over here? Like, start looking at the emotions. What are the emotions in your work? What are the values in your work? What's coming through and the way you believe to be true about how you show up and how you feel? Are you letting your emotions dictate whether or not you show up? If you feel sad, unhappy, unmotivated, are you just letting your creativity and your dreams fall off? Like, are your emotions dictating what you are letting yourself be capable of in the world? Or are you just letting them be feelings that pass, and you understand that you're capable of a devotion that is greater and a momentum and a commitment that is greater than any transient emotion? Are you the ping pong ball, or are you the powerful one in the room who everybody else attunes to, who everybody else's nervous system attunes to because you've got you? Which one do you want to be? It's a really good place to just start asking yourself questions. So much of this conversation is about life. So much of this series is about unlocking your voice as a person, because that's what unlocks your voice as an artist. So much of this series is about who you're being in the world, because that's going to define what you create. So much of this series is about where you feel you belong, where you feel you are with yourself, the kind of person you believe yourself capable of becoming, and how we get there, because that's what determines the choices we make, the habits we have, the actions we take, the art we create, the way that we share it, the way we show up in the world. So unlocking your particular creative genius is about who you're willing to become, who you're willing to be right now in this moment, how much you're willing to love yourself, how much you're willing to give yourself grace and compassion and kindness, and how much you're willing to commit to those states of being, those ways of being that you want to choose so you can create what you want. So today, just look at your emotions, and I'll see you tomorrow.